So my name is Ra. I am currently living in Germany. I started trading in 2020, and I never looked back. I've just started my journey for the 10,000 funded account, so I'm up for it, and I'm grateful for everyone in here, especially UG, for putting me on and not giving up on me as well. Like I like that. I appreciate that, and I'm grateful for Breath as well.
All right, thank you, and you're welcome.
I'm gonna pass the mic to whoever wants it, actually.
If you're scared, say you're
Everybody, how everybody doing? My name Pun, you know what I'm saying? Good old country boy. Graded baby, raised up in Thompson, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Population 6,000. I'm grateful to be here, man. I'm grateful for the wisdom I gained over time. I started trading. I got into trading in 2019, and
I want to get in trade
right now I'm proud of myself and where I'm at. My knowledge of the whole game, you know what I'm saying? I understand, you know, like I tell everybody, just keep going and they're gonna hit you. And you're gonna be a master trader, and when you get there, can't nobody take it from you. You know what I mean? It's I'm glad I went through it, all the mental hurdles and everything. It taught me a lot, you know what I'm saying, about myself and everything. But I'm grateful for the skill God gave me.
Yes, sir. Oh, next time. Go ahead.
Hey y'all, my given name is China Thompson, and that's where I get Chai, like the T Chai T. That's literally my name. That's my taken name. You know what? I'm grateful for life. Like Ross said, breath. I too was in a terrible accident, and it humbled me to know that I literally could be immobile right now. I've been humbled by my 6, now 7-year-old. He was taking care of me because I couldn't do for either of us, and I'm moving now. You know, not like I was, and not like I want to be, but I am. You know, and I get better every day. So I'm just hella grateful for the ability to stand 10 toes and 2 feet and move 2 arms and have 10 fingers that work for me. So I'm just grateful for mobility and life and second chances and sometimes 100th chances. and I'm also grateful for access. You know, like in the day and age where there's so much information and we're overwhelmed and inundated by it, it's kind of hard to filter out what's valuable and what's not. So I'm hella grateful to have been placed in the right rooms next to the right people who are making the right money and who care enough to share still before the price went up. I've been very lucky, very blessed, very great, very great. Well, hold on, wait, let me take blessed back. Y'all taught me that. Very favored. And that favor feel real good because everyone don't have access to the same amount of information. So I'm grateful for access to it and the wherewithal to identify that I have more knowledge than a little bit and to understand how important it is and that I can use it. So I don't got it yet, but I'm getting it. And I'm just grateful to be the type of person that knows I'm going to get it, that wants to get it. I'm grateful for me. So I guess that's 3 things.
That's what's up.
I'm going to call out who's next because ain't nobody say nothing. There's either Goddess J or that's 2 people. So I guess Wu just got on the call. So
peace. My name is Jacinta. I'm from Decatur, Georgia. I'm a little quiet because my son is 2 years old. He doesn't know what be quiet means.
Okay.
And I am grateful to be living life on my own terms.
All right. At least he don't be quiet like the rest of y'all.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I miss my loud 2-year-old, man. I really miss it. That's so dope that you have a baby. And legit, G could tell you my son been on calls for a while and he started at 3 and he knows how to trade. See, he said G.
Yes, he's very vocal. Sit down.
Hey, baby.
That's what I like.
All right, I'm gonna mute myself again.
It's nice to meet you officially, Cynthia.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you.
That's right. What he said.
Man, facts.
I love babies. I don't think I like children.
Oh
That's
yeah.
weird. They grow into children.
And then adults.
Yeah, adults really suck.
Anybody make a pretty baby? Let me see a pretty adult. I'm talking mess. Inside and out. Yeah, I think I'm about getting in a buy. I think I might hold the water in a 15-minute, but don't over leverage.
Say
To
that,
keep it
'cause
real,
that was the name of the game this week.
yeah. To keep it real, I'm actually gonna go for that 20 pip trading plan. I was telling you earlier, I over leveraged on my funded account, and I blowed that shit. So, fuck it. I don't even know if
Yesterday was the day. It was a crazy day yesterday. And I
just
looked at the
overdid
chart, I was like,
Oh, this spread just did me.
I overdid it.
Oh, it's
because
NFP week.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I forgot it was I just it's NFP week, and I have this theory that there's way more manipulation than usual because a lot more of us have the access to the knowledge than before. I could be wrong, but it's starting to feel that way after watching the markets for a few years now.
Yeah, my advice, I don't give none of that shit energy. I never really, that's why I don't watch news. I never cared about none of that. That's why the people who do watch my charts and notice, I post Monday through Friday. If you give that, then that's what it's gonna be. If you're gonna do that, take heed to it and don't trade. But other than that, I don't care about none of that stuff.
Gems, thank you for that.
Yeah, don't trade. That would be my advice.
Yeah, like Monday to Wednesday it'd be straight, you know what I'm saying? But Thursday and Friday, that's when your craziness really start. You know what I'm saying? Usually they'll trade Monday and Tuesday most definitely, you know what I'm saying? Option on Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday, like a lot of people they'll let it go. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
in that buy and I'm blue already. Thank you.
Yeah, I caught it. And I'm going for that. I might still do my 40 pips, but as far as the get that and get out and use them lot sizes from the 20 pip trader plan, that's what I'm finna do. I've never actually done it, and I actually just heard somebody just passed it. So
that's exciting. I would like to hop on that too.
Yeah.
You're starting today?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I funded my my Hero Effects account on MetaTrader 5, so I'm gonna be using
I
that.
started today as well. Let's get it.
Hey, well, then I need to catch up. Nope, get doggy.
And welcome to the call, Woo Carter. 9 times out of 10, I'm assuming you're from the Whatever It Takes group because it's Wednesday, and I don't know no Woo, so what's happening?
What's up?
Hold on.
One of my favorite movies.
This is on my computer, bro.
What happened?
Brian, I'm just on my computer.
Oh man, come on, man, change that name, man. I didn't know if it was Lil Wayne on the call or what.
Mr. Carter.
Mr. Carter. Woo effing Carter. That's really just a Zoom account though, but all good. You know.
Might be a different person on his phone.
You got a link, so I can even show you how to use this app. We in the buy right now, so it's already up 10 pips so far. I'm up like 13, 14 pips. Yeah, I'm up 16 pips. Yeah, we going. We're making gravy.
And it's gonna be delicious.
Go ahead, baby.
No sausage.
Look how she jumping.
Oh, we up 20 pips.
Let's put it.
Cool.
I like this. I like the 20 pip baseline. I actually been thinking like I want to take it back to the basics when I was a $50 to $500 trader. I realized my gratitude has changed to expectation instead of gratitude, being grateful. So taking it a little classic, taking it back to the drawing board. And I like it actually. I guess that's called enjoying the journey, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And going back to the basics, appreciating the little things.
Yeah.
Sticking with what works.
Well, and then every little bit adds up to a lot. Just like when we go into Target and everything's on sale. I like Target. I'm gonna use this example. I go into Target and everything is on sale. And I'm like, yeah, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. Too many good deals is a bad deal. Too many small come ups is a lot of money. So like,
too many anything.
Yeah. So moderation and I want to take that simplistic mindset that way, because as we become millionaires and billionaires and, guap shot collars, when we got it like that, I don't ever want to lose track of where I come from and who I am, and appreciating the very little that made me a lot. So, back to the basics, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. That's gonna make me go over the moving average today. We finna go over the whole ketchup crossing the mustard today, guys.
Let's do it.
Yes.
That still works. It still counts. I know, right? I need to stay TP2, but I've never went over the moving averages, and I always say they all do the same thing. They're just an average of a certain amount of candles. That's why the period is different: 5, 13, 50, 200, 800. But they all can be used as entries, exits, TPs, all the same kind of stuff. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I did take the ketchup off my phone. It pretty much just follows the candles. On a higher time frame, it's a little different, especially on the hour. I really don't think the ketchup becomes significant until the hour, to be honest with you, because it can do things like just bounce off of it when it comes to the hour chart. But
that answers a lot.
Up until that point, they correlate with each other. So honestly, your ketchup on the hour is pretty much your mustard on the 15-minute chart anyway. So the way this whole craze with this whole strategy even started was, well, at least when I came across it, was the whole ketchup crossing the mustard. It was still M's and W's, take the leg of the M and W, and it was still using the RSI. If it was down here, you're looking for W's, at top looking for M's. But it was, I don't want to say a better signal. I don't want to say better than the TDI. It's honestly more for confirmation. It's a later entry, but when you're still recognizing your high and your low of the day and your second leg of your M, 9 times out of 10, when that crosses like that, it's guaranteed. And what I know works for me is when it does cross, is to wait for the first pullback. It doesn't always happen perfectly like that. But when the ketchup crosses the mustard going down, it sells. And when it crosses going up, it buys like it did down here. This is still based off the 15-minute chart. And your ketchup, I don't want to know how to describe it. Pretty much just follow the candles. Your mustard is pretty much for your pullback and the continuation of the trend it's in. Your water on the 15-minute chart is your overall trend line, and your mayo is your correction. And if it gets to the blueberry, it's the same thing. It's just another correction. But you always have to recognize that MRW to know when to use them. Like yesterday, I tried to buy off the blueberry and that didn't work. It just went straight through it. Because the trend was to sell. And I said this Friday, I believe even Friday and Monday, I knew it was going to sell. And for some reason, I went in there trying to hit buys. Even when it hit the blueberry, I was better off not trading at all or just letting it ride. But you still have to pay to attention what's the overall trend for the day, which are 3 to 5 days, and are your sales stronger than your buys? You can always find a buy and a sell in the same day, but what's the real true move or trend of the market? So yesterday it played out perfectly with the 6 steps and everything, with the whole consolidation, stop up high, came up for stops from the previous day and dropped. That was your sniper entry, catch across the mustard, continuation off the mustard, reversed at the end of the day back in consolidation. That played out too perfect, and I let that get the best of me yesterday. But the ketchup crossing the mustard is one sign for the direction of the trend. Also, another one is honestly the water crossing the mayo. So here your ketchup crossed the mustard here, it continue off the mustard. And if you were in this sale, that right there when the water crossed the mayo would have just been another confirmation to stay in your trade. I don't like to enter trades late, but you can enter trades off of the mustard. That's very, I'm not gonna say it's risky. It's just I don't tend to do that. But when you see something like this, that would make it safer to enter your trade and put your stop like above the moving averages. And just on yesterday, you can set your stop losses to stuff like that. So yesterday in the sale, it would have been safe to put your stop above the water in the mayo. Excuse me. This thing like it turned around. Everybody's still in here.
I'm looking at it.
I got a couple of entries, so I took some, but it look like it's pushing up right now. I swear every time I get 20, 30 pips, it's just coming for me. But yeah, so your water crossing the mayo is another thing you can look for. I'm gonna see. Let me see. Because now that it's cross going down, it could just keep selling. It's at the water now. It could keep selling. It can come up to the mayo and correct itself, or the blueberry. Those could be TPs if it continues to rise. But since this water has crossed the mayo, usually when that happens, it pulls back up to the mayo and then continues its way down. I'm gonna find like here. Last week when it was buying and that water crossed the mayo, your water's your trend line. And usually if it ever breaks it, it retests that mayo one time and continues its way back up. You can go back test that. That usually happens like 90% of the time. Once it's in the trend, and it's gonna do that 3 to 5 days. That's why I did do the buy off the blueberry, because it held the mayo throughout the week in the water. And if it tends to break them, it'll come to that blueberry and usually continue its trend. But that wasn't a goal for yesterday or this week. Let me see. I know it was selling for a whole lot before last week. We could start here. And these arrows, I know people ask me about these arrows. Since I'm talking about the moving averages, these arrows are when the ketchup crossed the mustard. So when they pointing down, it crossed it going down, pointing up, it crossed it going up. The thing is, you don't want to get caught in to every single time the ketchup the mustard cross. You still need to be looking for your M's and W's, using your TDI for where it's at. The green line is pretty much your RSI. If it's at top, you're still looking for sales. At bottom, you're still looking for buys. You still got to put all that into play, put that in consideration, and look for the overall move. So something like this, you could have did that buy. I mean, honestly, for this, it was the low of the day. It was still at the low of the day. Let me go in close. And it was above the water. And honestly, that look like it's still about a good 50, 60 pips. That stuff be looking small, but when you go look at it, 52, it went as high as 59. Yeah, it was still a good 70 pips, depending on your entry. It was as low as what, 51. I just went up to 52 just in case. Just you still would have got your moves out of that and could have been done. But this was a reversal. So let me see. It was probably going up. Oh no, that's a crazy looking week. Monday, Tuesday was the low of the week. It was the low of the week. Came up, reversed on Thursday, and dropped. The way that played out, was that ketchup across the mustard going down right here. That's tricky. I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't mess with that. But I'm gonna tell you, one of my favorite moves is when the candles cross over the water and come pulls back one more time. It's pretty much how we're in this trade right now. The candles have crossed over the water, they pulled back to it, and I'm waiting. To me, this would be the second leg of the W if it pushes up. It did that first push up off the water. That was a good push up. But if it wants to go up for the day, it's gonna make a new high and pass that. So that's why I got into this trade. That's kind of one of my only, I think, signature trades that I like when it's not a sniper entry, is when the candles cross over the water and they pull back one more time. And from there, they usually just take off. I want everybody to back test that. I'm gonna go show examples of that if I see it. But here, the ketchup across the mustard going down. Your M was set here on the high. Divergence was shown. I piece all of this together still. Like your RSI was way up here and the candles are up here. But as the candles went higher, the RSI went lower, and your green crossed the red for the M here. And when the ketchup crossed the mustard going down, that was another indicator to get into the trade. It pulled back up to the mustard and continued its way down. The 6 steps still played out. Consolidation, stop up to the high. There was your sniper entry. Drop, continuation off the mustard. End of the day, reverse back into consolidation. That's why I keep telling everybody to send in them 6 steps. But that's for your benefit, not mine. But if you're able to piece all of this together, it just makes it that much better. So after that drop, the rule is if the water is on top, the candles are pushed down. And if the water's on the bottom, the candles go up. Your water's your overall trend line. Now, this happens on every time frame, but I like to base it off the 15-minute. The hour is good too. For a day-to-day trade. But here, that's kind of like, okay, it crossed here and pulled back up. I'm sorry, that stuff keep getting in the way. When it first crossed here and pulled back up to the water, it dropped. It didn't get all the way to the water. It really held the mustard, and then it dropped. It did the same thing here. It pulled back up to it, ketchup across the mustard, water all at the same time. When you see stuff like that, that's usually a big move. It's usually going to give it's going to move real fast, a whole lot when that crosses back to back like that. Ketchup and mustard in the water all at once, pretty much. It crossed, and it just, that first candle right there just dropped. It stayed up, it didn't pull back to the mustard, but it pretty much stayed up under the mustard. It just really just held the ketchup the whole way down. Got to the end of the day, reversed back to consolidation. So that's pretty much how the moving averages work. It was in a downtrend, overall downtrend. It pulled up to the Mayo and dropped. It breaking it a little bit doesn't mean it's going to keep going up. You still have to recognize things like your candle patterns or your wicks, or even in the RSI right here, still using the TDI, crossed it back down right there. So you can use those together, like how it hit the Bollinger Bands, it hit the Mayo at the same time, the green crossed the red, and then the ketchup crossed the mustard. That was a pretty late entry on this point when that crossed. But this day right here, it was pretty much inside this one little zone. So I'm always say, if you don't recognize it, just don't trade it.
Don't do it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just don't trade it. I'm trying to find examples of it probably already done happened. Even one like this, when it came up, when it did hit that water like that, still looking at your TDI, at the same time it was in this area. It was pretty much holding the water and it broke out of the bolus bands a little bit, but it came back inside and the green crossed the red at the same time. Like this right here, just that was all at once. That was damn near 100% signal to get into a sale. And then this is also, I've been telling people to pay attention to the order of the moving averages. It was the water, mayo, blueberry. When they're in that order, that's when they're in that order, if the water is on top, remember that the candle's pushed down. So if you got your water on top and the candle's underneath, and then next is the mayo and the blueberry, they're gonna basically work together to push the candles down. That's pretty much how that works. And vice versa, if the water was on the bottom and then the mayo and the blueberry was under the water and the candles are on top, they're gonna work together to push those candles up. So something like this, they got all close together. Usually when they squeeze close together, they have to expand again. And then this area, they like kind of was breaking the water in the mayo and they got to that blueberry and they kept wicking. Your RSI still is down here in the buy zone. Your green crossed the red right there. Ketchup crossed the mustard, all back to back. And they pushed up once they got away from it. Like real fast and easy. So usually, like I said, your water's your trend line. If it breaks it, it usually will correct at the mayo. And if it breaks that, just didn't touch the blueberry, but it got close and it held the blueberry higher today. RSI was where it needed to be in the sell zone. Now this crossed that kind of late, in my opinion. But at the same time, the RSI still always crosses before the ketchup crossed the mustard, 9 times out of 10. In this situation, it looked like, let me see, because the arrow's right there. Yeah, it crossed right there. It was pretty much back. Yeah, it crossed the TDI crossed first, and then the ketchup crossed the mustard. So it held the blueberry higher today. Honestly, the safest way for this trade. Oh, I got smaller in my bag with this. It's Thursday. All right, we back up in profit on that. Bye. That would have been your real second leg of your M. It's good to see it in the RSI TDI, but you still also need to see it in the candles itself. But the high was set, so you know it came down. Wait for that first pullback, and that's it right there. These are safer trades, honestly. These are something I know me. I be trying to get the first little wick I see. When it's off an indicator or moving average or something like this, no problem. They make it easy like that. But right here, you just got to use your better judgment. Be patient and wait for it. Honestly, just wait for it. Because the way these candles two pushed up, you wouldn't think it was going to turn around like that anyway. This is almost like a railroad. It probably looks like one on the 30-minute or the hour. But this is just an example of it correcting itself, basically. Let me see how this plays out. You got your 1, 2 days of drop. This day was pretty much, it's probably almost like a doji on the day chart. Came up to the mayo here, corrected itself. But these are actually rising. So you had 2 days of drop. That's actually 1, 2, 3 days of rise. And it corrected itself on Thursday and started over, reset for the drop. That's 1, 2, 3 days of drop. It just kept holding the mayo perfectly high today. RSI, TDI, everything's in the same place. Every time it hit the mayo, it was hitting the Bollinger Bands. Piece all of that together. Let me take some of that. This thing is just make a new high. Stop playing. They need to hit TB2 and stop playing. But where was I at? Okay, 1, 2, 3 days to drop. This was almost like a doji too. It was a reset. To me, it was a reset. It came up. That's a crazy looking day right there. I can't even explain that one. I probably still would have traded it. It's gonna make me want to go back to see what happened. That was Valentine's Day. That's why I look crazy like that. But this is an example. Okay, right here, it broke the water in the Mayo, and it came down. And what it did, it came up to the Mayo right there and dropped a little bit. But this was the last touch. Your RSI is in the right spot in the sell zone. Your TDI crossed. It hit the Mayo, so it's kind of like it's holding that resistance, and it basically got back up under the moving averages and came up to retest them and continued its way down. That's the stuff I'd be looking for. Right here, it kept doing it. It just kept holding the Mayo. The water pretty much was, it just kept breaking the water. It held it right here though. When the water was on top, the candles went down. But what I want to point out is when your moving averages are moving straight across, starting with the water, it's usually consolidating overall. It's resetting, it's collecting orders. That's another thing to notice with the moving averages. Let me see, should I make this smaller? Yeah, because this dropped. This is a crazy looking day, but the water pretty much went straight across, and then it corrected itself at the Mayo again and dropped. Now, Friday, this is an example of where it crossed over the water, came back down to it. Now, it wicked. It was coming back for the low, but it pushed back up. So even if I want to look and see and count this, like if you would have entered off the water 1826, it dropped, it almost did 40 pips a drop on that wick. I remember catching this though, I actually caught that. But this is, if you don't see it the first day, the second day, it came up, came back down to the water, expect it to hold that water on the second and third day. When the trend reverses, like even now it's selling, well, right now it's selling and it crossed back over the water like it wants to keep going up. But when it got an overall trend and it resets and now it's in an uptrend, when it comes back to that water, trust it to hold that. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna hold that and just keep bouncing off of it. You can still get your 20 to 40 pips every time it hits that when you're in line with the trend and you know what trend you're looking for. The only hard part, honestly, is just seeing it happen when it happens. But when it came down here, even the candles did a down, up, down, up. That's a W. Yeah, TDI did the same, did a W, green cross the red right here, all in conjunction together. They're all working together. That was an easy trade right there. Every time it hit the water, it just bounced up. And you could have got your 40 pips each time. But that high was a 47 right here. I'm gonna just go with 46 around it. Even that was a good 30 pips, if not the whole 40. And then here's an example of it crossing back under the water, come back up to it and held it and dropped. They're definitely not perfect. The moving average is definitely perfect to me. You still have to put everything else together to piece it because you can't trust it every single, like right here, hitting sell, that was a no-go. That wouldn't have worked. Even looking at this, you would have waited for it to get up here and the green cross the red. I'll put the cursor on it. Yeah, that didn't happen until this candle with the green cross on the red. So that's why I still like the TDI over everything, but I've never really gone over the moving averages. Um, and this happens on every time frame. So even for the minute and a 5 minute, if you're somebody that likes to scout, you could still apply the same thing to it. With the I'm gonna go down to the minute. It's a little slow. There we go. I don't know, that minute be looking crazy. It's getting too crazy. But the whole ketchup crossing the mustard on the 15 minute is the same as the water crossing the mayo on the minute. They cross at the same time. So I know people that use this for their interest. They wait for the water to cross the mayo and then that retest to the mayo and get in your cell. And it just held the mayo. But I want to point out, because the moving averages do correlate. So the ketchup on the 15 is the water on the minute. Your mustard on your 15 is the mayo on the minute. The water on the 15 is your blueberry on the minute. And it does that on an hour too. Your mustard on the hour is the water on the 15 minute. The mayo on the hour is your water on the 15 minute. And this is why I like the hour. I do like the hour chart. Probably, I kind of like the hour chart the most, to be honest with you. Because there's a blueberry on the hour chart that doesn't correlate with none of the lower time frames. And that blueberry on the hour chart is usually a good, strong move. The blueberry on the hour chart is actually the water on the 4-hour chart. So they correlate like that. The only ones that don't correlate is the 5 minute and the 30 minute. They correlate with each other, and they're not completely like perfect like the other time frames are. The 5 minute and the 30 minute do their own thing. So I can even take notes or write this down or whatever and send that in the chat. It can be useful over time, but it's mental for me. So I just look at it. I've been doing it so long, I know they correlate like that just by looking at it or switching through the time frames. You can see it for yourself. But the blueberry on the hour is it's like a brand new indicator or something. Once you get past the 15 minute and the 30 minute, it's usually a real strong move when it happens. When you see it, when you're able to use it. Like here, honestly, here, and they're not perfect, but Friday, Monday, when it hit it, and I already knew I was looking for sales because it did all that rise last week. If you're just waiting on your high of the week, waiting to see that M and still using your TDI, still using the 6 steps, waiting for the consolidation, the stop hunt, and the drop, it did the same thing with the blueberry. Once it crossed over and came back up to it, it dropped again. It came up that one last time, hit that perfectly, and just dropped. I was asleep for this. I'll be honest with you, I don't even think I noticed this till now. This could keep dropping. This could keep dropping and come make a whole new low. This is the low of the year so far. It still didn't ever break it. So it got a chance to actually come in and retest this whole thing altogether if it wants and come back up, whatever it want to do. But I hope I ain't went too far so far.
I'm understanding.
Who said that wrong?
It's Jacinta.
I just said, oh, that's what's up. You understand and I'm good. I think everybody else pretty much get it. I see Mario on the call. She's the other person I would be concerned about. The rest of y'all is master traders. Ooh. And yeah, if anybody got any questions, because I don't want to overdo that with the moving averages. I do want to go show the 30 minute. And everything is being recorded, so I can send these in. But the 30-minute, I like the blueberries on the other time frame. I really don't pay attention to the other moving averages. Like the 5-minute blueberry, 30-minute blueberry. Like I said, I do like the hour. When it comes to the 15 an hour, I like to pay attention to the water and everything. I like to look at all of them. With the other time frames, though, I really focus on the blueberry. Like this here, sometimes I use those for my reasons why I get in trades. It could be something odd like that 30-minute blueberry. It held the high of the day perfect on Wednesday and drop for the rest of the day to the low of Tuesday. So they work on all time frames. You just have to, you can't 100% completely rely on them. I believe the hour is probably the best time frame to just rely on moving averages, especially with your mustard and your mayo, which is just the water. Let me see, the water and your mayo on the 15. I'm gonna say mustard and water on the hour. I'm sorry, but you begin to see the M's and W's clearer too using the hour chart. So I'm being more patient. I'm gonna be more patient on my trades and focus more on the hour chart and wait to see a complete M or W before I get into my trade. From there, once I start to see it, you can go down to the 15-minute to look for the entry, to look for, okay, what's happened on the 15 now? Let me see. Like the hour from yesterday, that was perfect on yesterday. But see, on the TDI was under the price line and the green cross the red going down here. But I went to the 15, once I see what I'm looking for, my TDI would have been up top and it crossed here, catch up across the mustard here. That was good for a sale. It pretty much held the catch up the whole day. Came up to the mustard one time and went right back down. Just got hungry out of nowhere. Dehydrated. What's going on, D?
What up, though?
Going over the moving averages today. This thing need to just shoot up. I don't know why it's even playing around. I think the overall move for this week, it could still be a drop. Today, really, I don't know. Today, it could be holding last week's low or the low of the year. So honestly, it's still in the air. It could make a big W off of here. It hit the Mayo. This is the daily chart. So that was another reason why last week was just so smooth. All I did was look for buys last week. This is some similar, close, almost to a morning star, but it just hit the Mayo perfectly. And the green crossed the red for your W on the TDI and put them together. It just was perfect. 1, 2, 3 days of rise, a correction on the 4th day, 5-day, 5th day, it rised all together, then reversed. So you can use this, the higher the time frame, the longer the trade. You can use this for your swing trades, and position trading once you recognize this stuff on a higher time frame. Because on lower time frames, this was like W's, but on here, it was just a V. And so it can even come to make a bigger W on the day chart. It can come and hold this and do the same as that thing. And if it really wants to push up, it'll break last week's high, what it did last week, and keep going up. So, like I said, these work on every time frame. Even here, it crossed over the water. It didn't come back to the water perfectly, but once it made that low, water's on the bottom, the candles push up, it just pushed up. And this is months when it's on the daily chart. So it's like 3 straight months of rise. And it's still the same concept. 3 to 5 days, daily chart, 3 to 5 months, and then 3 months, pull back. It could be correcting itself to continue again. Same thing works every time frame. I know the 4-hour chart, it hit the blueberry. last week. Where we at? Yeah, this blueberry right here. That's your W. It came up one time, did the first leg. What it's doing on the day chart now is what this could look like in the long run. It did that first part. Looks like a V on the 4 hour. It's M's and it's W's on the 15-minute and the hour, but it came for that second part of that W. Hit the blueberry again, it wicked under it and just shot its way up. It got above the water, came to the water, and shot back up. That whole, to me, that's a signature trade I'll be looking for. When it breaks it and comes back to retest it. Came up to the Mayo, pretty much held the Mayo. Started making wicks. Hit the Mayo one last time, bam. Waters TP1, came back to the blueberry, TP2. I don't know if we want to keep drop or it's going to reset and do what it did last week and make an even bigger W. Well, that's how that works. 4 hour chart, this is another example. When it crossed up under the water, came and it held the mustard. It came up to hit the water one time, dropped again. Came up to it right here, dropped again. That's resetting the trend, getting in on pullbacks. That's what the moving averages are for. I remember this week, killed that all week. It looks even more perfect on your phone. It just hit that water like that. What week is this? What's the last week of January or something like that? And it just, every time it came down there, I remember that, just kept buying. Overall, did a bigger W. That's how the moving averages work. I just really want everybody to back test and just go through any pair, go through, all time frames and just keep swiping back to see what's already happened and just look at the moving averages and notice what they do. They usually always they have a point where they're close together. Like even here, when they're close together, something major is about to happen. You got your water, Mayo blueberry. It held the blueberry, came down. It kept playing around for a little bit, kept testing the Mayo. Once it got up under that water, it started wicking under the water. That's it. It just took off. That's 3 straight weeks. From the beginning was the high. There's 1, 2, 3 weeks of drop, correct itself to the water, dropped again, 4 or 5. 5 weeks of drop. It reversed and corrected itself on the 6th day. There was a complete reversal. Got on top of the water, came down. Remember, they're not perfect, but when you piece this together with your 6 steps, your recognizing candle patterns, reversals, and your TDI, you'll be able to piece all of this together and use the moving averages. And it got back above the water, came down. When it got close, that's a W right there. Came up again, came down, hit your Mayo, went back up again. Every time it got close to the water, another W went up again. At this point, it was holding the blueberry. They don't have to touch it. They don't have to touch them perfectly. They can get close. Sometimes they can get above them a little bit and then wick back down. They can get under them like this situation and come back up. You just got to be patient on the move. I used to just jump in as soon as it touched them. That's not always the best thing. Sometimes it is. Sometimes they don't go back up. They'll come, they'll come tap them like that, railroad, and just, they never come back. Come in and retest the Mayo. Kept dropping every single time. Now it's hitting the water. It's not even getting to the Mayo. Another thing I want to point out, I used to pay attention to this. That first time it hits them and it takes off, it's a good push. Like even if I was to use this as an example, it was a real good push. I used to count the pips and I noticed that, okay, when it's in its cycle and it's going in the same direction for 3 to 5 days, every time it comes back to them, that push gets weaker and weaker, so to speak. Even if it's making higher highs, the amount of pips from when it touched until its peak, until it pulled back or start to pull back, the pips get lower and lower. So even if I was just to count this, and 1714, and let me see, it went up like maybe this high. It's about 700 pips, a little over 700. When it came back to it, 1753, 54, that's about another 400 pips. It went from 700 to 400 pips. And then now it's going to start getting weaker. It might do 300 pips, 200. That's me recognizing that it's getting exhausted. The indicator isn't as strong as it was. And so it's going to reverse. It's going to start to reverse. That's another thing I want you to pay attention to. When it hits that water and that mayo, it's going up. But like here, when it hit that, straight, it's just dropping. Let me see. 63 down to, I'm gonna just say 20. It's like about 400 pips. And pull back. Let me see. This one was a good push. 32. And it just pushed like with no pull, basically no pull back. That's about 200 pips. Oh no, that's way more than that. It's like 800 pips. But that's what I've noticed, especially on your 15-minute and your hour time frame. It just starts to get exhausted. And it's got to reverse. Even here. Like it just kept bouncing off the mayo. And it kept bouncing off. And after a while, it broke it here. And that's when it was exhausted. Now it's reversed completely. It kept pushing off the water here, strong pushes. And then they started to get weaker and weaker until it reversed. So also pay attention to that. It's not gonna, I put it like this. Trading off the indicators works until the trend fully reverses. So when you notice stuff like this and it hits the water, you can do that every single time it happens. If you do that every single time it happens, you're gonna win more than you lose anyway. As long as you got a good stop loss and you stick it to your pip goals, you can do that all day, every day. And when the one time you're wrong, just give yourself time to let it see if it's fully resetting. Like you would have did it here, it would have went nowhere. Over here was kind of breaking it wick. That's another thing to pay attention to. I'm sorry. When it hit these, it was like perfect, almost perfect. It barely made wicks and it pushed up. Right here, same situation. Here it made this little wick, pushed up, but right here, it started to break it a little bit before it would. It just consolidated from there. It really didn't. If anybody would have entered off of this one, you might have been all right. $17.12. It went down 10. It made a 10 pip wick. It went as high as 18. It's still 60 pips. That still would have been good. But after that, it started to tap out. And so now your trend reversed. And if you was to trade just using the water, next time it got to it, you would have been good. Right here, you'd have been good. Even when these look small, these be 40, 50, 60 pip moves still. So it don't have to look like much. 74. I'm sorry, even the next candle went as low as 66. Still 80 pips. 100 pips. So it's still giving you what you need. If it breaks that water, your next, let's see if it's gonna hold the mayo. Got to the mayo, that's how you would do it. It's usually always, it's gonna hold the water until it breaks the mayo. And then usually when it gets to the mayo, that first time it gets to it after a reset of the trend, it usually holds it. Holds the mayo and continue its way down. If it ever gets to a point where it breaks the mayo, then it's going to the blueberry. It got close and came back down, reset for an uptrend, but then when it got all the way to the blueberry, it went right back down like it was doing before that. So they're corrections. If you were in buys after you realized this big W, that would have been your TP. Now they're TPs. When they hit the water here, it was a TP. TP here. It's not going down anymore. Or if you think it was just gonna shoot down and you caught this by, get out at the water, you're still getting your pip goal every single time. As long as your entries is still using, you can use the catch across the mustard along with the TDI. You see it cross on the TDI first. And if you want to be patient after that TDI crosses, you can wait to see if the ketchup is going to cross the mustard. And when that happens, you're good to go. Got to the blueberry, started holding the blueberry. Now it's back up under the water and the mayo again. It didn't really push down too far though. Not for it to hit the blueberry like that. That's not a real big push. But this first time right here, was that 17? I'm gonna go with 74. $61. It's already like 130 pips a drop. The next day low was 54. That's 200 pips since it hit it. The third day, this was 3 days of drop. But this ain't really a day of drop. This is really 1, 2 right here and 3. On the third day, when as low as 31 from 74, it's like 430 pips. So that's still a hold. We don't need all of it. That's good enough. You know, usually though, sometimes when it hits that blueberry, it'll go 700, 800 pips, no problem, within them 3 to 5 days. Came up, corrected itself at the blueberry again perfectly, dropped again, gave another drop. Just took out that low, made a new low, and after that, it reset. That was day 3, 4, 5, and reset the next day. That's how the moving averages work. Anybody got any questions, comments?
I love listening to that. I will have to go back and write everything down.
Yeah, this is recorded, so when it's ready, I'll send it in.
I'm grateful.
So I do have a question. When you're saying like blueberry water and mustard and mayo and stuff, what are those called? Because I'm trying to put my own, like, put that on my chart, because the one that we set up, it was kind of jumbled. So I was trying to add it myself. But what would those be called?
Put a J. This you, Jay?
Yes.
I'm trying to get used to y'all voices. Yeah, when you say certain stuff, I know you straight from the A like that. Yes, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Extra G.
I remember you saying something about how it got kind of messed up and it had the shadow boxes and stuff. So if we need to, we can even share your screen if we need to and fix that now. But the template I sent you already has this set. You don't have to put it in. It should already be on there. So
yeah, it's on there, but I don't like the way it looks.
It's not about that.
What's the phone that you have? Or do you have it on your computer or something?
It's on the laptop.
Oh.
Yeah, the problem with that template, I think, was the shadow boxes. If we can get one where that's not on there, then that's probably what it is. Because as far as the moving averages, they're already on there.
Okay, I'm gonna show you what it looks like.
You want to share your screen?
I can wait or whatever. It doesn't matter.
I need that template. Yep, I can send it to you. All right, y'all. This whole trade, I'm not sure what I want to do at this point now. Look like it's holding the mustard on the 15 minute. Yeah.
Hey G, could you say what your moving averaging numbers are again?
5 is the ketchup. 13 is the mustard. The water is 50. The mayo is 200. And the blueberry is 800.
Okay, cool.
Now I'm gonna give y'all one little secret. The template is exponential. That's why some people look at it. Mine don't look like this. See the water on top right here, but it's on the bottom of your phone. I think that was actually I'm gonna say honestly, probably a mishap with when I was taught this strategy. But what I've come to learn is because I have both. My phone is on simple, and honestly, the simple is more accurate most of the time. My laptop has exponential. So ultimately, I honestly use them both. I will say what I do is I have an extra mayo and blueberry in my phone, and they're different colors. They're blacked out. I can see them, but that just give me an extra eye to look for it when it does happen. Kind of like 4 hour. If you go to your 4 hour chart, it's been hitting the blueberry, hit the blueberry like yesterday and last week, but it's not like that on the phone. Some people I know have exponential on their phone, because they already knew about this or whatever, and they just see me doing the same thing, and so you know stuff like that. Some people already knew this stuff before they met me, basically. So that's just something I want to point out. I can't really say or tell you what to do. Overall, the simple has always been more accurate to me. I had them both in my phone at one point a couple years ago. Just got all the moving averages in there. The ketchup and the mustard really don't matter. It's the watermelon and the blueberry that start to make the difference. So
Mhm.
especially on the 15-minute and up time frame.
Heavy
But
hitters.
yeah, so I I guess what keeps me sane is I am used to my phone, and when I get on here, I'm just able to see both, and so I just still use my better judgment. Like right now, it's bouncing off the water again on your phone in a 15-minute time frame. On here, it was just holding the water and went down, but I think it wants to push up. Because the only other thing you have to start to recognize is the levels, and you don't have to recognize full levels. It's really only one major rule to this that you can consistently do, and that's when there's a high or the low of the day, and you clearly see a M or a W, is when it consolidates. Don't trade, counter trade the trend. So in this situation, if I'm looking for a push up, I'm looking for it to push up out of consolidation. Now we did this the first time. This was your. It looks funny, it's almost like straight across, but this was your W for the day. That was the low of the day, and it went up. It consolidated, and even though the water was right here, it pushed up out of it. And each time it pushes up or down, your level is 30 to 50 pips. That's another reason why people secure their 30 to 50 pips,
Mm.
because it does that without pullback. So let me go higher. Yeah, so that was your W here on your TDI, and the green crossed the red. That was at the low of the day. Ketchup crossed the mustard up here, and it rolled the mustard, but then it started to consolidate, and then it came down and pushed up out of it. So let me see, that's a high of 18. I'm gonna go with 16, and that's 12. That's low 40. You still would have got 30 pips in between without having the best entry and getting out before it pulled back. That's pretty much the reasoning behind that securing your profit. Most people did 30 pips. And that's usually with forex pairs. That's why with gold you could possibly get 40 or better out of it. But 30 pips really is a sweet spot. Um, when it comes to the levels. So that's something else you want to start to piece together, with not just relying on one thing to trade. Like if
Mhm.
you had to rely on the water right here, you probably would have got 20 pips. It depends what you're going for. 15, you would have got 20 pips when it got to 13, somewhere around there. It depends on your entry, and it might not be perfect. That's why I usually tend to I just round my numbers anyway. for anybody, you know, when I put in signals, I just round it. So sometimes you're not going to get a full, if you're going for 40, it might be 38 or something like that. You know what I mean? So one of the biggest rules is don't lose no trade over 2 pips. Don't sit there and see it almost hit your TP and just take it if you've seen it and it was about to hit it. Because it might not completely hit it, and now you wish you would have took them 18 pips over that 20 or whatever the case was. It depends on how big the pushes are, but always use your better judgment. If you need to just take it where it's at, take it where it's at. Be done for the day.
So if
With
there's a morning star on the 5 minute when it closes in a minute, is that good for us? That's good for us, yeah. Like put it together.
Oh yeah. The 5 minute is how you break down a 15-minute candle in threes. While we can see one big 15-minute candle, that's when I do go down to the 5 minute for entries.
It's like 2 morning stars back to back.
It showed it, yep. And even looking at here, it showed the arrow to get in, it showed divergence. Green just crossed the red. It came back down to the red and bounced off.
Oh, and it closed above the water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this should keep pushing up. They're just playing around with it right now. But
I just like when we all say the same thing, Gold be like, all right, I'm gonna listen to y'all.
yeah, it need to do something. And then the way that works, okay, yeah, closed above the water. What it can do is come back down to it and wick right off and keep pushing back up. That's how that works. When the candles first start, they usually go the wrong way to make a wick. So don't get scared out of your trades or nothing like that, because
exactly
what she just said was just perfect. She said it closed above the water. Damn, now we and it just did that. It might come want to do it again. You never, you know, but that's usually what it does is his sit and then keeps going up the way it wanted to go. Trying to see if there's any.
I'm glad you moved the screen because the way that candle was moving, I was starting to be like, mindset. That's not necessary, Chai.
Right. Got it.
And this right here, that's when I usually go down to the 5 minute. The minute do be crazy is when I know I got an entry and I'm looking to see what's gonna be my best entry. Like, okay, I want to enter. I could have went from the hour and be like, okay, I see a W forming. That's when I go down lower. I'm usually always between the 15 and the hour, but that's when I'll go to the 5 or the minute. And this showed the perfect example. It crossed over the water and then it came back to it. That was your entry right there. It just rolled it. It just kept bouncing off of it from there. It does the same thing every time frame. Go ahead. Somebody about to say something? All right.
No, that was Batman walking by saying hi to the dog. That's why I needed the phone.
I need to drink some more water, y'all. Take some sea moss. My mouth is getting dry.
Dope Gems, peace, family.
Peace. Oh.
Peace, peace.
We all getting it in.
I know right who in here. I don't know who iPhone is. State your name.
Madaraka, and I don't know. Is that me that says iPhone? I thought my name came.
I know who Madaraka is. Oh, that might be you that say iPhone. Yeah, because no, your name is on here, child.
Yeah, your name's on there, and then
But somebody came in.
It's me, Shaq.
Hey.
Who that is?
Not who that is.
Yeah, I
don't know who that is.
Oh, look, I didn't realize there's 11 participants. Hey, everybody. Look at that.
Hey, everyone.
What's that, Shaq?
Nope, now there's 12.
I'm
Catch
through.
I had to slow down and
But
think
3
about
is a
what I
good
heard.
building number.
Grand Rising,
Yes, sir.
D, you on Telegram?
Yeah, I got Telegram.
Okay, that's how I can send that template. Let me see.
All right. I gotta hit you on there, though.
Yeah, messes me up because I can't never find nobody. I'm Ginetta on there, or if you need my number. I never got it, but I can say it, shout it out.
Oh, I got you on here.
Okay.
I just messaged you.
Okay, good.
We understand. We want to do different. So I know I'm compromising my truthful, no. Receive no. I generate no. I love no. No is good and no is bad. No, it's bad. No, yes, bad. No, it's bad.
This will, you need to download your broker for desktop, and this will automatically install it. Once you click on these, what I did was added Telegram to my laptop, so I can click on these messages. You can delete Telegram afterwards if you want, and you would just slide these files over to MetaQuotes to your broker.
Okay.
We can get on later, whatever you need to, and help set it up if you need to. And yeah, once these are in your MetaTrader though, they're gonna install automatically. You just have to select it as an indicator. It'll be under customs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said it good.
Your disbelief onto me. If it does not evolve me, then it shall not involve me.
Right
It's
now,
it's a sound in the background. Let's throw off the video. Hold on, let me mute my thing. Somebody might need to mute you. I'm listening to my positive affirmations. My bad,
it sound like using a whole class. Now, y'all, I don't mind stuff like that if somebody got something to play. I don't ever mind the meditation music. Y'all probably can't even hear. I got Tabisha Bowes playing. Don't nobody ever say they hear him, but I don't be trying to.
Yeah, no, it was going in and out, and I know you were recording.
Yeah, that'd be the. Let me hold. Let me share that. Let me share that.
Affirmations, so yeah, peace.
Oh yeah, I used to
I
like
can just sing for everybody. My hurt's a little off, but I got
you. Sound like you got 12s. That's how you used to be in the car bumping Tabisha Bowes.
Well, you know how they pull up, how we pull up,
bumping them low frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
The high frequencies, low hertz.
And they're killing everybody's chakras in the morning, guys.
Trying to rattle like a mud. They be thinking they beating play some Tabisha Bowes. Like you knock the whole block down. Yeah, man. I don't know. At the time of the day and what this doing is really just trying to trap folks. It ain't made no real major move yet. It need to either make a new high or a new low. I wanted to make a new high.
Mm-hmm. Make a new high. Shit.
It needs to.
It's coming.
Also, yeah, it look like the 15 green did just cross the red. This is one thing about the TDI. It don't have to be down here if the Bollinger Band works like the moving averages. It's basically holding the Bollinger Band. It's supporting resistance. So I do want to shout out to Jay talking about some bearish and bullish, y'all. I'm gonna just have to say, I think we all know what that is. So you're gonna make me use all the words in the books. See, what happened is ain't no liquidity right here. So that's why
Don't start.
That's why it hasn't become volatile, because the liquidity just building up.
That sounds messed up.
I could do that shit all damn day if y'all really wanted to, but
keep it a G.
Yeah, I think because of this bit drop, and honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I think it wants to continue for the week. But because of that drop, I was looking for the pullback. And everything else did just align. It could have went either way with a sell or a buy.
And what about the midweek reversal? Like, how strong is that actually?
Oh shit, that always I usually never miss on Wednesdays.
Mhm.
I can't remember last time I watched the trade on a Wednesday. Because the midweek reversal is always easy to point out.
Right.
It could honestly, there's always a whole lot of ways it can play out. I think it wants to move up. Main reason is because the 4-hour chart, this could be a bigger W, and that was the low of the year. So
Right. Like
it could
really
want
low.
to hold that. It came to fill that gap at 1818. It did that. So I do think it wants to go up. It could be a few reasons because even your TDI looks like it wants to buy and the green come across the red. You know what I mean? So I think honestly, when stuff like this happens, I think too many people got it.
Right. And they just scaring people.
Yeah. I think too many people actually got it. Like, we're gonna hold this low of the week.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I can tell when it don't
This
got
looks
enough.
suspicious.
Exactly. And we all ain't nobody tapping out right now.
Right.
Because I sometimes I can tell when it's like, okay, it don't got enough people trapped. That's one thing. But sometimes I'd be like, nah, it's too many people just caught that. It want to go up, but it's trying to see who can scare out first.
It
Because
just did some.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it did. Come
Keep
on.
going, baby.
Hit
I
my,
see.
yeah, there we go.
Ooh.
I know I want to hit my TP2, get my 40 pips.
Ooh.
Easy. Getting up.
Okay, let's go.
And make a new high today. Stop playing.
You can touch the water on the 30. That's good. But you can go higher as well.
Yeah, it's gonna make a new high today. It looks so small on here. Okay, there we go. We've been holding this thing for an hour and almost 2 now. Yeah. And see now with Chai saying that, I want to see what did the 5 minute do. How
What
that
it
actually
do?
played out. It kept doing morning stars. It did one here. Came back. That was a railroad. And came back, turned to another one. Then it did it, doing it again.
Go ahead, baby.
There we go. New high. Yep. Bam. I just secured everything I needed. Yeah. See, that's when it's stuff like this, then I go to the 30-minute chart. Then I go, see, it could be the 30-minute water now.
Gee, I need help figuring out how to stay in a trade while
Go to close trade. Are you still in it now?
Yeah, I'm still in it. But
Go
I
to
only
close.
made one trade though. Like,
What's your lot size bigger than a 0.01?
no, yeah, it's 0.25.
Okay, so go to close trade
Okay.
and see at the top you can change your lot size. You can make it smaller. You can't make it bigger.
Oh, okay.
And so you see the profit at the bottom is the numbers changing as you change the lot size.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So you pick how much you want to get out with. Whatever you're changing it to, that's how much you're taking. So with a 0.25, if you change it to a 0.2, you're basically you're going to be left with the 0.05 after you do this. It depends on how you want to do it. Yeah. That's how that works.
Okay, cool. All right.
That's what I do. When I'm on my pit goal, I take most of it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I stay in for the rest. I just got out of this though. Because I want to be done with the anxiety. It just did like 40 pips.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
It could keep pushing, but yeah, I'm just gonna take mine. Stay in it if you want. All that works.
But listen to your gut.
I'm gonna start doing I'm finna do the 20 pip trading plan. So I actually started that today.
Yeah, first day passed.
Yeah.
And it's 333. You know it.
Oh yeah, for you out in Germany.
I love y'all because I walked away from my phone with my ADHD stuff, but I set my TP, and when I came back, it was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, G.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I'm gonna drop y'all a little gem right quick. Hey, can you go to the 4-hour chart right quick?
Yeah. Child, just want to point out, look at your 5 minute. It did like 3 morning stars back to back.
Oh, I missed the third one.
That was the push up, that third one.
Ooh, I see.
All right, what going on, LeVar?
I like you a lot.
All right, now zoom out a little bit.
Oh, y'all, this could keep going though. Green just crossed the red on the 4 hour.
On the 4 hour?
If it wasn't crossed, just looked at
Go
it.
on and hit us with the jam like you had said you was gonna.
All right. Zone back in one.
One, yeah, okay.
Okay. Now, this is about liquidity, but this is the real shit. You feel me? Like a lot of folks talk about it, but they don't understand it. Now, the reason why this didn't go no lower, right? Y'all see that low before? Y'all see the low, the low before this low, right there. You see that right there, right? What did that low do?
It rejected.
Look at the low before it.
It was a stop hunt.
Yeah, it took out liquidity.
Yeah.
So it's no reason for this to go lower. It's going to hold that low because it just took out stops.
Exactly.
If you look on different time frames and all of that, it does that all the time. Like once it take out orders and everything, it has no more reason to go back up there no more because there's no more money up there. You know what I'm saying? It's no more stops and all that, you know what I'm saying, to go reach for. It'll just drop on down. And so it'll hold that high. That's why even if you look at even old highs, when the old high get taken out, what does it do? It'll take out the old high, it'll drop down, it'll come back, it won't take out that recent high, and it'll just drop down again. Even it does it all the time. It does it all the time.
That's what I was saying the day before. Go ahead.
Huh?
No, you were still going?
No, I was
that's what I was saying earlier. I didn't know if it wanted to come in because this is the low of the year and all that. And I was like, too many people probably caught that. Since it came to retest, I didn't know if a lot of people who had entries here with stops down here was basically going to do this all over again, basically.
Yeah, see, the reason they're not gonna, like I said, it took the money and then they're not gonna release no more orders going that way. You get what I'm saying? You remember how Steve Morrow always said, like, once they come back to the house, they're not gonna overtake it again. Yeah, because they got to, you know what I mean?
Kind of even. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I said, but a lot of times, anytime y'all see that, like even in the trend, you know what I'm saying? If you see a high, if you see a lower high, and that lower high took out another high, which was basically a stop hunt. If it comes back up, if it's come back up to that, 9 times out of 10, you already know it's not going to take out that high. Why? Because it already took liquidity. There's no reason for it to go back up there. That's another telltale sign that, like, when I could tell when highs and lows are when they're gonna stay there. You know what I mean? Some people, they call them protected or whatever. You know, they got a many different reasons, but it ain't nothing for the market to reach up there. You know what I'm saying? Like when folk be talking about all the buyers and sellers a lot, that's not what totally moved the market. And what proves that? Think about Bitcoin. When did people stop buying Bitcoin? Never. Even when it was 60,000. When it was 60,000, you probably had the most people in the world buying Bitcoin. And what did it do? It dropped.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Name of the game is to take money. That's why they say trade like the banks. You know what I'm saying? trade
Mhm.
like the banks.
When you add liquidity to your set of confluences, it's really delicious.
Yeah,
When you can
all
add
it
it on,
is
you know what I
just
mean?
yeah, all it is just where the money at. That's all it is where the money, how they making money. You know what I'm saying? And how they make money is by taking money.
Yes, that's
When you understand that game right there, especially like if you could just recognize like in one spot, right, where they might do a stop hunt. If you look at it, you'll see a trend line. You'll see where people probably looked at, probably said, "Oh, this is support, or this is resistance, or this is a bad pattern, this is this pattern, this is a
Mhm.
wedge." You'll see about 8 different things right there. You know what I'm saying? And they'll do the totally opposite of all of them.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually how I started becoming profitable in the market. I looked at what everybody else was going to do, and then I kept following what everyone else was doing, and I wasn't winning. So I said, well, let me mark it up and then do the opposite. I kid you not. And then when G showed me the market makers theory and he put me on, it made all the sense in the world because it's counterintuitive. Like, we're very intuitive people, but when you have to be intuitive enough to be counterintuitive when the masses are going one way, it kind of, it opens your eyes to look at it a different way. I swear trading in the zone helped me, like, in conjunction with a lot of the things that I've been taught here with G and art within the Fly Gold community, you know?
Yeah, just like what you just said. ICT, he said the same thing all the time. He said he go on other people's channels
Mhm.
and that a retail trader, he said he'll look at what they're doing. So he can do the opposite. He
Yeah.
just like to see where their mindset at. Like if he's looking at something, he's kind of, like, okay, maybe, what I'm saying, I need to see a little something. He'll just go check out and see what everybody else talking about. And then he'll, what I'm saying, that he'll come up with something. You know what I mean? Like he'll look at the market different. Like, but all that stuff, like you said, got to think about it. All that stuff that you can Google. When you Google Forex and how to trade Forex, that's all you will see. It's the geometric this and that pattern and flag patterns and all of that.
None. That's why I don't. Yeah.
It's the biggest finesse in the world.
And then
You know what I'm saying?
that's why y'all probably heard me say that too. Like in 2020, with everything I was learning so far, I just started doing the opposite. I said, "Damn, this is like it's gonna sell. Let me buy." And that's why I keep telling everybody to do them 6 steps, because the 6 steps is recognizing the stop hunt. It's like I said, when they're selling, the false move is up. Once it went up and made that high today, it sold. And when they're buying, the false move is down. It was an uptrend, so every time it went down, that's your stop hunt. Beginning of the day, it went up the rest of the day. It starts off doing dips first, so it can go up. You got to get up to get down. You got to get down to get up. But that's why I tell people, recognizing stop hunt right here, bam, it did a whole good little drop. It was stop hunting, but just like he showed that wick on that 4 hour, this is the same situation on the hour where they did that. This is actually that wick. This is on the hour. This is that on the 4 hour, that first part of the W. So this is how it looks on the hour chart. When everybody had that little move and it came down, they hit them. And when this was happening, this was a big red candle. Everybody, oh, it's selling. It's making new lows. Let me get in. And that's when it turned around. Bam. Came up, didn't come back down, and took off. It was dropping the whole day. Stop hunt, fake move. What it does first is usually the fake move. And once enough people is falling for this drop, it turns around. And then that drop just got smaller and smaller. It's dropping. Everybody see it drop. Everybody want to get in on the drop. At the beginning of the day, market open, they adrenaline rushing. Market just open. Let me get on the charts. Bam, it's dropping. Let me get in. And then as soon as enough people in that drop, it's gonna go. If enough people got stop losses down here, that's when it'll come that second time to wicket. Kind of like this one. It came in and it took off, and so enough people want to still be crazy, and yeah, bam, we're gonna come hit them too, and we really want it to go up. So that all ties in together. That's pretty much the same thing. Recognizing the stop hunt is recognizing how the markets make money.
Yeah, it's all about market structure and know what level you on, to be honest.
liquidity, like he said. Oh snap, y'all. Hold on, my mama just texted me. She talking about going up Stone Mountain.
Oh,
Oh, I wish it was
First of all you had to do was go aquatic swimming, and your mom is not playing. Water aerobics and up Stone Mountain. Okay, Ma.
Yeah, mom always ran track and all of that stuff when I was as long as I can remember. Yeah, this gonna go up though. This gonna go up the rest of the day. The 4 hour green cross the red, it held the low of the year like you were just showing. That this is gonna be your bigger W. So even though it did all this major drop, we probably can get back into looking for buys on gold again here on out. It might not never come back this low for the rest of the year again. Ain't no telling. It might get to a point where it gets so high and it come down and wick again like this or whatever, and then take back off. But it probably want to hold this. Still gotta look at play it by charts, look, you know what I mean, and trade for what you see, not what you want it to do. But okay, 11 o'clock. Yeah, I'm gonna end at 11, y'all, and go up Stone Mountain. That's where I'm gonna be at. Anybody trying to meet me? But
Have fun.
I'm gonna do that.
That might
I'm
be
probably,
dope. You said you going up Stone Mountain?
yeah, at 11.
How tapped in is your mom? Peace, everybody. It's a whole full moon.
Mm-hmm. What? Yeah, yeah. I think the last day was what, last night, where it looked full.
Yeah, today's the last night.
Yeah.
But
I
you
know
know
my
the
mom
shadow
like
be
that
until
too.
the 10th.
My mom like that though. She the reason I was doing water aerobics. My mom was like that. It could be a situation like this. Dang, I wanted to show it. Like this week. It'll just be on a higher time frame, 4 hour daily or something like that. You know, this could be gold now. I don't want to never come back and it gets so high. Let's say you do 1,000 pips or something. It might come back to wick like that one more time or something. That's the most I'm looking for to happen, hopefully. But high today, low today, piece everything else together and stick with it. M's and W's. Once you recognize which one is set, stick with it.
yeah, y'all gonna be good. Y'all in good hand with G. G been doing his thing for a minute.
Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm all and I ain't never giving up. So it's up 18. I got out. I did get out. I'm doing that 20 pip trader plan, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't even got to complete the whole thing to make some money. I mean, it says 12K in a month. I mean, if you get half of that,
That's discipline. Let's
yeah,
get it.
get a quarter of that. You made 3,000 in a month. So that's where I'm at with it.
Thanks, fam. Got the gems. Made my pips before I go to work. Love it.
Pippin ain't easy.
But no, it makes
Yes,
sense
it
what
is.
you and the other king was saying, because I do remember being in the MLM feeling like they teaching us some stuff, but it's like they got us all in here trying to do the same thing like a bunch of cows or something, you know, and it threw me off. It would throw me off. So this, I think that's why, it's just like Chai said, that it's starting to make more sense when you kind of thinking of it more in backwards, you know, versus trying to do what everybody doing. Yeah.
I was doing that really before I learned this whole thing. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
Y'all, this is so relevant, but it's really funny.
It's helpful too. Just like she said, you know, combination of everything we're learning here, and you know, trading in the zone, and then looking at some of those charts from the beat maker stuff and stuff like that. You know, those videos. It's really been very helpful. Thank you so much, G. And everyone else too that's been bringing input. Y'all are like the light of my life right now.
That's what's up.
Gratitude.
Same for me.
There's something I want y'all to remember. just like everything that GB teaching y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like one thing, make sure y'all taking y'all notes and y'all writing that stuff down, you know what I'm saying? And y'all looking back over it, y'all listen to the recordings and stuff. Because you gotta look at it like today, where he talked y'all about the EMA, you know what I'm saying? And that's so much and just right there. And you could just trade with just what he told you. You get what I'm saying? Then you got the TDI. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to recognize like you're not gonna take it all in at once and just have it. You get what I'm saying? Because there's so many different things. But what it is so many different tools and ways to trade that he's giving you. After a while, once you keep on going through, all that stuff is going to click. You're going to see all of it at one time. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened first, like that high, like he's saying, like today, it was holding the high. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was holding the low. You'll see that before it even happened. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna come in with the confluence of the counter formations and the EMAs and then the TDI. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all gonna come full circle. You know what I mean? 'Cause I know some, trading can get frustrating sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And it can feel like, man, you're not getting it, or you're just missing something, or you should have it, but it's just something not there. And all it is just you need that repetition. You need them hours of experience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just like they say, you put 10,000
100%.
hours into something, you'll master it. You know what I mean?
Got to put that work in.
Yeah. Stay looking at them charts. You know what I'm saying? Just stay looking at them charts. You know
Once
what I mean?
Once I realized I had to put it to work, there's no cheating. That's when my trading started to elevate. Do the work. You got to do the work, and everything will come in perfectly how you want it.
That thing took off, y'all. What the hell? 80 picked up.
No FOMO.
It's like Jazz Face say, it's a lot of devices to put this thing together.
Yes, sir.
A lot of bits and moving parts. Piece it all together. I always stick with I need 3 reasons to get on my trade. So you piece that all together. Your market structure part, the price action, the 6 steps I be talking about, high today, low today. That's pretty much all reading the candlestick, the reversal patterns. And then you got your TDI and your moving averages.
Yesterday's high and low.
Right.
Yeah, piece all that together, recognize something, look for 3 of them. Like, for me today, it was that low of the year hold thing for me. I was like, I think they really want to hold that and make a big W on the 4-hour chart, even though it dropped drastically. That was, to me, that was only to fill that gap. It came and filled that gap. And once it did it, it held the low of the year. It went back to, okay, I don't think you want to drop 3 to 5 days now. I think that was a reset. And hey, right here was the green cross the red off the Bollinger Band, making a W going up right here. It wasn't even down here. So I know I'll be telling everybody to wait till it's down here, which could have been your entry. If you saw that, I didn't, I was asleep, so I didn't see that. So look for the next best thing. And that's why I did go over the moving averages today, where it came back down to the water and bounced back off of it. Also, the W was already set for the day. And when it went into consolidation, don't trade against the consolidation. Don't counter trade it. Don't counter trade it. It's just a level. Start to recognize, okay, at least from level 1 to level 2, you should be able to recognize, it goes into consolidation and then it pulled back out. And consolidated here and it pulled back out. You don't fully need to recognize all 3 to be like, okay, it's going to reverse next. Let the reversal become obvious. Let it make a whole complete M, like if it's going to reverse today or something like that. But I don't know. And piece everything together and sound like I'm in a basketball game or some shit. Passed them the ball. Got the pips in.
Who's trade? Charge it to the game. Charge it to the game.
Everybody look Kobe, 40 points, 50 points. Like basketball, cause it's round like a rim, got a hole in it, like donuts. I'm hungry. We got a lot of people on here today, though. That's what's up. I did want to say too, in the long run, I am gonna do that medical thing. I actually set up my whole account. I just want to build up my account a little bit, but it's actually on there already for the Fly Gold. If you search for signals on MetaTrader, I'm on there. I just had to verify it today, so I didn't know I had to do all that extra stuff all over. So
You got it set up for MT4, MT5.
I mine NT5, but I don't think it matters. Do you have to? That's the question I didn't know. Like, do you have to have NT5? Because I'm using it. I think you could just. I don't know how that works.
I think so, because they got it set up where you look for MT4 signals and MT5 signals. But I'm using MT5 right now anyway, so.
Oh, that's a bit. Yeah, I'm using NT5 for this. Yeah, I couldn't use the funded account. They need investor passwords. Funded accounts don't give you investor passwords.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That was the little loophole around that, but I'm gonna go for that 20K, that 12K 20 pip challenge. So
Hey, that's in your channel, right? With your resources for those that are in the Signal group.
What about it?
That's where the plan is, isn't it?
The trading plan. Yeah, there's a 20 pip one. Yeah, there's a 30 pip one that Lauren used. She's basically using like the same lot size every week. Like she picks one lot size for the week and then goes to the next lot size on the next week.
Yeah, okay.
The main thing is just sticking with the pips and increasing your lot size, whether you're doing that daily or weekly. Let me see. I can drop that if you want me to. Let me see if I can find
please. I mean, I can go look for it too now. I know you be doing the work.
The easiest way is to go to the media links and documents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I just found it. I found both. So I'm gonna send them both in this chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just have to make y'all laugh. I saw this thing that says, I can't believe one day I'm gonna be the grandma on the daddy side. Wow. And I am. And I don't know. I saw that and I was like, I'm excited.
Daddy side. Yeah. Ain't that what that is?
That's exciting, actually.
You think you're way far ahead. Now 7 just turned 7.
What's your
Okay.
Your dog is that baby?
No, I got a long time for my granny. But it's like that inspires me to stay in shape because I know what I want to do long term, not just in a couple of years. Got to be able to do the things my ancestors couldn't do. My mom couldn't be a grandma. She died too early. I'm going to live, you know?
Thanks.
Definitely.
Have a great day.
Peace and blessings. Oh, shit. Y'all, we going to get there.
Yeah.
Love, girl. Have a beautiful day.
Yes.
Pushing peace and prosperity. Pushing P.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I forget you be pushing P. That make it easy.
Hair grease. Don't forget the hair grease.
And pips. Pushing pips.
Okay, like why don't we do that? Peace, prosperity, and pips, baby.
I can dig it. Okay, yeah, D, if you need help with that template, I can help you later. Brian, I definitely gotta show you how to even place a trade. I don't know why we didn't do that yesterday.
Man, I hate Orlando, bro. Like I hate it, bro. Swear to God.
Orlando, what you in Orlando or something?
Yeah, man, this traffic about bad as Atlanta right now.
You done went back to work.
Yeah, I've been working.
Man.
And that's one thing about it. When you go through something in the truck, man, you got to get right back on it. You can't just sit out, or you won't drive no more.
Let me see who else still on. I think I did. I do need to edit. I need to see. I think I got 2 videos, 3 total. I'm gonna check whenever they ready. I'm gonna drop this one today. Whenever this ends. I don't know. I'm feeling real good, optimistic about how we heading so far. I know I'm a little crazy, so I appreciate y'all for being on the calls with me. Nadia, I hope you feel like ain't nobody yelling at you no more.
I'm just being quiet. I learned my lesson.
You be
I'm
man.
an only child, bro.
Yeah.
I'm an only child. I don't like that.
I never yelled at her, got loud. You know, like
Nadia, who was yelling at you?
G.
He was yelling at me too.
No,
What
see,
you
this
do, G?
what happened between me and Raw. I could probably say I'll take that as yelling. I got loud. Nadia, I never got loud with her. I just keep telling her to use a stop loss, and she'd be like, "Stop yelling."
I don't like a difference in tone. I don't like aggression. Like
I never even
only child.
I never even said it. It's all in chat. She just reading it in her voice.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, but you can read through text. Don't lie. Don't even. You can read through text.
No, people don't know. People don't know I'm a gangster for real. I don't be yelling. I just hit you. I don't be like, I'm gonna cut your balls off and handle. I be like, I'm gonna cut your balls off and handle.
And that's loud. It's loud.
Exactly.
I'll be reading. I don't be like, if you nigga fuck that shit, I'll be fuck you, have a nice day.
Yeah, but look, do you hear how loud that sounds?
Exactly. Like, what are you talking about?
The volume is low.
That's so
The volume is low.
like
When you saying his volume is low, you got to turn yours down. Yours up.
My dad would tell you, I was a kid, he used to talk like the same way, like some real calm G shit. And I used to be like in tears.
And then she'd stop yelling.
Exactly.
That's what girls
at
do when they losing. They just don't want to say you right. Yeah, but what you gotta yell for though?
Like, stop.
What's
Don't
the
do that. Why
reason?
you hit me? Whoa.
Exactly. What? I don't know.
When I'm real mad is when I start saying shit like, if I said yes, you wouldn't keep asking me. So why you keep asking when I'm saying no?
Exactly, loud.
So
right.
That's y'all proof right there that I don't actually be yelling.
Man, that shit is funny as hell.
I could put it on a note. They're gonna say, "Stop yelling."
Like, this sounds mad aggressive.
We connected. I'm sorry, we connected.
What was your
I used
energy
my
like when
mind.
you wrote this?
Yeah.
Well, you know what the real problem is? Listen the first time.
No, I'm definitely doing my thing. I'm still kind of, annoyed that I have to sometimes use a stop loss. Don't get me wrong, but it actually works. Like I said, I went to go do yoga the other day and I came back and the trade, hit, and I was like, oh, that's great. That kind of gives me some type of peace. But if I would have lost that, if I would have lost that, I wish I would have been there to even watch it sometimes. So I feel like it's a twofold. I feel like I would rather watch the market while I have a trade in there, because if it didn't hit, then I don't know, I could have missed out, like you said earlier, on some pips or something like that. So
now you better off getting out, but knowing what you're willing to risk first. That's people's first mistake. They don't know what they're willing to risk first. They just look at the possibility of winning. So they don't know how to lose. When you figure out how to lose, then you can start winning. But if you're like, if this trade goes my way, I'm gonna get 200. But if it goes the wrong way, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Then you already lose.
Yeah.
And you gotta look, because then you know how to calculate for your losses to be smaller than your wins. If you're only going to risk 20 pips and go for 30, 40 pips, all you need to do is work on accuracy.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same. You
That's
lose 2
why,
straight, you're gonna win 8 straight in a row.
yeah, that's why, like, obviously now, you know, I respect it with the stop loss and you saying that you only like to be like 20 or 30 pips away. So it makes total sense.
Plus, the biggest mindset thing is we've seen our accounts go red more than they've gone blue because of no stop loss.
Mm-hmm.
The second is a little bit blue, oh, I'm taking it. But it could be red and you're like, you just holding on to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You like, I was down 150 pips. Have you ever been up 150 pips?
Mm-hmm. Makes total sense.
We gotta, we gotta make it become the norm.
Oh, on another thing too. So although MetaTrader is on iPhone, for some reason I can't add an account. I don't know if it's just my phone or if it's just MetaTrader or if they
It's
have
iPhone.
You said it's
Before I
iPhone
couldn't
as
even
well?
download the app though. So now that I can, I figured they would probably let it rock, but I guess not.
She got a rotten apple. That's all it is.
Ugh.
Who's your broker? You need a broker account.
Yeah, I was no, because they wouldn't even let me open a demo.
Yeah, they might let you open a real account though. But you're right though. They should let you do both.
Yeah,
What
they won't
broker
let
are you
you. So
choosing?
now I'm just wondering if it's just we gotta wait it out a little longer or they have to make an official announcement. I have no
Well, this
idea.
is the thing. You might need to still get a broker, and you can make a demo account with the broker and then go to MetaTrader. You still, because I don't know if you're picking a specific broker right now. Like even if you was to go do Hugo's Way or whoever, you can create a demo account online under the broker first, then go to MetaTrader and log into a specific demo account.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I have
Yeah.
one that I want to try.
Yeah. So you got to find that out first.
Everybody gets pips, B. Everybody get pips.
Everybody gets pip. Everybody loves a pip. I wanted to point this out with what Gold just did. It looked better on the phone. That's why I use Simple on my phone. That whole thing about when it cross over a moving average and come back to it and then keeps going. It just did that with the water on the 30-minute. It broke it. It looks better on the phone. But if you was to go to your 30-minute, it basically got above the water, came back down to it, and when it got close to the water, it went right back up, and now it's going back up. I just wanted to point that out.
I see it, especially on the 1 minute.
Now it's shooting back up, but it's the whole point of it hitting the moving average and shooting back up on the 30. Oh yeah, it did it on the minute too. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Let me see what that looks like on here. Yeah. See what the 5 look like. The 5, it was the Mayo. And this is, remember I said the water crossing the Mayo on every time frame. That's gonna let you know what trend it should continue. It should continue in the uptrend. So if you see this water across the Mayo on the 5-minute, it should keep pushing up. And that's just kind of like the TDI, how I'm looking for stuff to cross on the lower time frame, and it should cross on the higher time frame as it keeps going. So yeah, that'll be a long time for that happens on the 15. But it looked like it could cross on 5-minute, and that'll let you know it'll keep pushing up. That's not always 100% either, but 9 times out of 10 it is. See, it's already crossed on the minute, and it basically came close. It came close to the Mayo.
It held the water though. But that cross right there, a lot of people use that for an entry. And ride that up. And they get their 30, 40 pills or whatever and be done with it. Yeah, that was it though.
Where they at though?